where would the Imam stand? In the last class, we stated that if a woman were to lead other women, she should stand with them in the first row and not to stand in front of them. But if a man is leading others, if they are more than two, meaning that it's the Imam and two or more behind him, he should stand in front, because this is how the Prophet ﷺ used to lead his congregation and his followers all of his life. So whenever there were two, as reported by Imam Muslim, Jabir and Jabbara, they stood behind the Prophet ﷺ. Once they prayed with the Prophet, one stood to his right, one stood to his left. So the Prophet took their hands and made them stand behind him. But what if one is only praying with the Imam? In this case, the followers should stand to the right of the Imam. Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him, once prayed with the Prophet, night prayer, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and he stood to his left. So the Prophet took him and made him stand to his right. A common mistake is when the follower tends to retreat a bit and make the Imam in front of him a little bit. So he steps one step back, and this is totally wrong. When two people pray together, they must stand shoulder to shoulder and not leave a gap between them, or the Imam is a little bit front. Okay, what if there are men and women? So by default, women are always at the back, forming a different row or a line. So even if I'm praying with my wife, she doesn't stand next to me. She has to stand exactly behind me. And this was also reported in the hadith of Anas, may Allah be pleased with him, when he said that I prayed alongside another boy behind the Prophet ﷺ, and behind us, our mother or an old woman prayed behind us. Now, what is the ruling if a sinner prays or leads the prayer? Is this permissible? Now, this issue of people being sinners, such as someone who openly smokes, someone whose garment is below his ankle, or any open sinner or an evildoer. As we stated in the previous class, the majority of scholars say that the prayer is valid, because the Prophet, Abdullah ibn Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, prayed behind Al-Hajjaj, also prayed behind Al-Mukhtar ibn Abi Ubayd al-Thaqafi, and he had question marks in his aqeedah. Also, Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, may Allah be pleased with him, prayed behind Al-Walid ibn Uqba ibn Abi Mu'ayt, and he was flogged in drinking intoxicants. So the general rule is, whenever a prayer is valid for someone, it is valid for those praying behind him. So this is totally permissible. It's not the best scenario, but if there's no one else, no problem. The Prophet said, alayhi salatu wassalam, that we should follow the Imam. And he did not mention the aqeedah of the Imam, or the school of thought of the Imam, or whether he's an open sinner or not. As long as he's a Muslim, we should follow him. As for the hadith that states, pray behind anyone righteous or evildoer, this is not an authentic hadith at all.